It's that time of the week again. It's time for episode 4 of Skyblock Stonks, the series where every week we test a different money making method, so you can decide if you want to do it without actually having to do it. And also, maybe we can improve on our purse. In the first episode we grinded some XYZ shards, which was really good. In the second episode we foraged, which was actually slightly better than I expected. And in last week's episode 3 we did some tier 5 Tarantula Slayer, which was miserable. By far the worst money making method we've tested so far. Now this week we're actually going to stay on topic with Slayers, but rather than Tarantula Slayer we're going to go ahead and do some REVS. It's been a while since I've done REVS, we don't really have much in our meter at all, and since the introduction of shards it'll be interesting to see how that buffs our rates, or if it even buffs our rates at all. We're going to be using our Infernal Crimson armor. Now please note that Hab Tactics, as of recording this video, still doesn't work properly, which is really annoying. We can't really do much about that. We're of course going to be using our G-Drag with 1 billion coins in the bank. And of course, this is probably the first time I'm ever going to use this Halberd of the Shredded rather than the Axe of the Shredded. Still seems a little bit weird. This is just a random one I had in my museum. We're probably going to stick with one for all because unless we're going to hypermax it, which I have no intention of doing, it's going to be just as good as anything else, if not better. We do need to recom it and probably throw some gemstones in there, but other than that, we should be pretty much good to go. Alright, there we go. I actually hate Badline. I've lost my black hole, and because Badline doesn't have a search feature, well, it's going to be really difficult to find. I'm going to have to buy a new one, I think. Probably doesn't help that my chests are a little bit on the messy side, just a tad. Anyway, while I find the black hole, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS. It gets yourself 5% off. You should also join the Discord server. It's linked in the description of this video. We have Slayers and Dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry and make some coins, make sure to join. Also, if you're not already, you should subscribe to the channel. Yeah, we definitely should put some fumins on this too. There we go. So we're just going to be doing REVS as normal, nothing strange. But when it comes to golden ghouls, we're just going to quickly hit them down with our hunt axe, place a black hole and let them get sucked in. Every time we're in this area, it doesn't really take long, so I don't actually have to be around them, they're just walking on their own. And we'll get some shards from doing that. Now, they have dropped in price and they're not going to be crazy money, but it's going to be a bit extra that maybe just pays for our bosses at least. Also note that it isn't currently Aatrox as well. Just keep it in mind. Let's hope we can make some stonks. And for those of you who are not familiar with REVS, I'll show you what we're hunting. Well, obviously a Warden Heart, which sells for about 100 million coins, but is the rarest drop you can get. A Shard of the Shredded is usually between 10 to 15 mil and is nice to get just as a bit of an extra added bonus. The same goes for the Scythe Blade and the Smite 7. All of those are nice to get. Now, if we can get consistent Revenant Viscera, that's also good. There's also things like the Festering Maggot, which would also be decent to drop. It's selling for about 7 to 8 mil and it's just a consumable. Now, I believe these are Revenant Shards, and they sell for about 250k each. I believe there's some people who put their meter on these Revenant Shards. I'm not sure how that works out. We might have to test it. To be completely honest, putting your meter on Warden Heart, unless you're really close, it's not going to make much difference. And the fact that we're so far away from hitting the meter means that we might be better off putting our meter on those Revenant Shards. So maybe we'll give it a try. Right, well, we've got 50 million in our purse, so we'll be able to see how much we've spent on spawning our boss as well, so we can deduct that from our profits at the end. And here we go. The 5 hours starts now. Let's see how much money we can make from REVS. So I've also just quickly set up an auto pet rule, which means that when the boss spawns, we equip our G-Drag. And when we're spawning the boss, basically we're using a ghoul pet so we can spawn the boss quicker because of the extra combat XP. Now, I'm not going to be leveling a pet, but at the end I will calculate how much money we would have made if we were leveling a pet as well. Ah, there we go. It's already started. Also, is it me or have they changed the way that Magic Find displays? Because there's no way I should be at 182 Magic Find. I feel like it's not displaying the Magic Find that you get against the actual, like, individual mob or boss. Because I have no different setup to before, and it's just saying I have way less Magic Find than I feel like I actually have. So I'm trying to balance. I'm trying to find the right sort of balance of not focusing too much on trying to get shards and actually just killing the bosses. Oh, we're just gonna. Okay, we got a Warden Heart. What are the chances of that? We're only 15 minutes in and we've already got a Warden Heart. Cool. Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted by the jump scare of the Warden Heart, what I was saying is I'm trying to find the right balance between going for shards and just simply killing the bosses. Because at the end of the day, it's still revs, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of revs now is to do with, you know, focusing on shards as well, because that makes a ton of money. But yeah, it's trying to find the right balance, and yeah, it's okay. Just do a bit here and a bit there. Oh yeah, what I was actually going to say in the first place before I completely lost my train of thought, like completely, is that you can also black hole not just the golden ghouls, but mini bosses as well. And they give you, is it Psychophant shards? I can't even remember what they're called. They're called Psycho something shards. And they're more expensive than the golden ghoul shards, but sometimes the mini bosses can be a little bit annoying to get in the black hole, and then I feel like I'm just wasting my time even trying. So we might have a few of them at the end, however I'm not focusing them too hard. Like, we might be able to get this one here, just because it's already in the right position. Alright, okay, so we're about an hour in. We got our next decent-ish drop. That's a Scythe Blade. I think they're about 7-8 mil at the moment, so that's okay. Alright, there we go. We got a Smite 7, really not that long after the last Scythe Blade. Probably like 10 minutes after-ish. That's 5 or 6 mil. Yeah, it's alright. It's not bad. It's much better than Tarantula Slayer, I'll say that much. Oh, lovely. A Snake Root. It's been a while since the last drop, but there's another Scythe Blade, so that's a bit more money. Well, that's another Scythe Blade. It's interesting how we have 3 Scythe Blades, but not 1 shard. I mean, the shards are worth a little bit more too, so it'd be nice to drop one maybe at some point. Oh, lovely. Another Snake Rune. Wow, this is... I mean, I can't even complain. This is good loot. Another Snake Rune. Let's go! Anyway, we've got around about an hour and a half left. We're 3.5 hours in. We've used up about 29 mil of our purse, which means 29 mil in spawning bosses. What I will say is we are getting some money for killing the mobs, so I guess it's not a completely totally accurate representation of how many bosses we've killed, but I have kept track of that anyway. I'm actually quite tired. I can't really put a sentence together. This is to be continued tomorrow. I need to get some sleep. Right, well, it's a new day and it's time for a new nick, considering Lumberjack was a little bit outdated. I haven't changed it since Origin. I think Heart Dropper is probably a good place to start for this next hour and a half. Oh, there's another Scythe Blade. We've got around about 45 minutes to go. It's been on a bit of a dry streak, I can't lie. It's kind of interesting how we've dropped 4 Scythe Blades at one hand, but no shards of the Shredded. It's not that bad though, but it's just a bit strange. There we go, it's about time. We got a shard of the Shredded. It's not really been too long after the last Scythe Blade either. Oh my god, there's a wasp on my keyboard. Well, that's our 5 hours over and done with. It's time to see what loot we got, how much money we made, and so on. So in the end, we ended up with just over 3 stacks of Foul Flesh, about 1.5 stacks of Revenant Viscera, 39 Revenant Shards. We got a Warden Heart, 4 Scythe Blades, a Shard of the Shredded, a Smite 7, and a Beheaded Horror, and then some Smite 6s that are pretty much worthless. We also got 2,681 Golden Ghoul Shards and 140 Sycophant Shards. I still can't get over how annoying it is to actually take these shards out of the hunting box. It's so long. If we look at our purse, we have 5.4 million coins left. And we started with 50 million. Now I believe around about 40 million coins of this was boss spawning costs. And then the rest of the money that's missing was down to listing fees for the AH. But I'm going to go ahead and calculate all of our profits. So we'll have 148.9 mil off the AH. And another 93.4 million coins off the Bazaar. Now I mentioned I'll work out how much we'd make from pet leveling as well, which turns out to be around about another 9 million coins, give or take. So our total revenue comes out to 251 million coins. If we take 45 million coins for spawning the bosses and also AH listing fees, that brings us to 206 million coins in profit over 5 hours. Dividing that by 5 shows us that we made 41.2 million coins per hour. Now, please take note that this was including dropping a Warden Heart. And if we didn't drop the Warden Heart, then of course this figure would be a lot lower. It would actually be closer to 20 million coins per hour. Now, the Golden Gold Shards that I'm selling are selling at just shy of 22,000 coins each. Now, a couple of weeks ago, they were over 60, 70,000 coins each, and of course, before that, probably even higher. But just to think, if they were 65k each, for instance, that means that we would have made 3 times as much money from these shards, which would have been a massive buff. Instead of making just shy of 60 million coins over the 5 hours from these golden ghoul shards, we would have made closer to 180 million, which would have been insane. Overall, we would have made over 60 million an hour, but of course that's just not realistic now. But all in all, it was actually quite decent. It was quite fun compared to other money making methods. The only thing is it massively relies on luck. Now, what I will say is this is a damn sight better than doing Tarantula Slayer for money. It's actually viable, whereas Tarantula Slayer just really isn't. But anyway, that's going to be all for today's video. As always, if you have any suggestions for other money making methods that you want to see me try in the future, make sure to leave a comment. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.
Walk 2500 on my shirt with the tag.